Yeah, party people, it's your man Hakeem Green, channel live and direct. BDP all day, every day. All we do, spark, mad ism, Madism Sports, y'all. Madism Sports, episode 110. Man, we've been doing this for now a few years, and it gets better and better. I look forward to my weekly conversations with my brothers. The brotherhood, is something that's very important, be it sports, politics, community, money, however brothers need to come together and discuss things. I think it's a positive, when we get a chance to talk sports, chop it up, it's always good. I'm waiting for my co-host to hop on. My guest is already in the green room. He's in the building. Big shout out to Eric NICKS. We're going to chop it up with him. Hold on for a second. Wait a minute. Here they come. Cliffy, Uncle Spliffy. What's going on, bro?
What's good, Hawk?
Can't hear you, Uncle Spliffy.
Is that better?
Can't hear you, Uncle Spliffy. Well, listen, we're going to do what we do every week. I'm going to throw in a video. I need y'all to like, subscribe, hit that button, bring people into the conversation, share the stream. Cliff going to work out his glitches. We're going to figure what that's about. Coach E, Wes is going to be hopping in. We got KG. Hopefully he'll be hopping in. And like I said before, E NICKS is in the building. We're going to start off with the jump off, the cipher by Hakeem Green featuring the Blastmaster, KRS-One, produced by Ron Lawrence. Here we go, y'all. Like, share, subscribe, hit the button. Come on, let's go. Wow, my shit is off too. Oh, here we go.
The cipher is a circle with all points connected. We get your boogie off and the weak get disrespected. The cipher is so sacred, takes place on hollow ground. B-boy seek the battle on mission to follow down. D-Boy DJ, banging on the table is the way we settle beats since the days of Cain and Abel. That's Pop Master Fable, the jams that didn't see. The DJs battle for world supremacy. The cipher but always on the square. Breakers dream in the ground, but only for weed in the air. The cipher's like a wheel of steel and scratch and makes me itch. I get skills and the DJ catch my pitch. My fans being switched, everything live and mixed, but still off the cut like I wear it on my wrist. What is a cipher? What is a cipher? The cipher, the cryptic rider, the mind igniter. I'm a rhymer designer, a line after line of rhymer. See, I'm an 80s rhymer, the crazy kind of you can't phase me rhymer. I write raw shit like I write no baby diapers. I blaze these ciphers with basic shit. Savage, one that kill for 8 type shit. Hit after hit, all classics, spitting the grit. You talk that hickory dick, you getting lickety split. This is what you get, you ain't taking nothing from me. The goat, the sex, the KRS is the goat who's getting coached. Rain Man, I'm the original face slapper. It's been so many years, must have got these fake raps. Now I bust on these snappy headed hoes, I must. You ain't bad boy, talk big, get your top off. That fake shit's not us, you know how fresh Prince is. Career killer, I write death sentences. Hey, yo, what is a cipher? Hey, yo, what is a cipher? What is a cipher? What is a cipher? Time is of the essence, every breath another second. Without martial law, fight through the game like Tekken. I ain't got no weapon when I camouflage like Johnny. Ringing bells when I rock the mic, poison like Ronnie. Follow me through the edition, fall from the new edition. Rapping this for the middle, whack and see steady ripping. I just stay in my lane when I'm on the scout like Kiffin. Look for all the tears when it's round in the kitchen. Cooking up some special trees, I talk trial when I'm fishing. I cruise through a month with heavy cloud when I'm on a mission. I'm special with the first, every line in education. When I wrestle with the first, I rhyme in meditation. Stand on one leg, balance on the lotus. But still packing the knowledge, judgmental niggas wait to show this. You can roll with this when you done pass the layer. Rhyme going counterclockwise around the cipher. What is a cipher? What is a cipher?
That was deciphered by your man Hakeem Green, featuring the Blastmaster KRS-One, produced by Ron Lawrence, scratches by DJ Nasty. We put that out to represent the real hip hop, just a throwback to that original hip hop feel, break beats, scratchings, and the like. You know, happy 50th anniversary hip hop culture. Our guest is somebody who's extremely important to the culture of hip hop. My brother Eric NICKS, entertainment executive, mogul. You know what I'm saying? Basketball father. You know what I mean? Most importantly. And welcome back, bro. You know you family. You always represent for IZM Sports. So welcome.
Yes, yes.
Yo,
Peace,
yo,
peace.
peace, God. Yo, thanks for having me, fellas. Appreciate this. This is fun. Always a pleasure to be on the show. And I'm looking forward to chopping it up about a whole bunch of sports shit. It's crazy out here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Before we get in, you have a strong history, with LL Cool J, and I just want to, through you, big him up for this single, "The Force." Oh my God, I ain't get to tell you about that. We ain't talked about that. The Force, it's got a lot of power, and I love that song. I love it.
I know, but I'm gonna keep it even deeper, right? Like this record for LL, this album and I've done 2 albums with LL, and I'm not a part of this album. And I'm gonna tell you that this album that him and Q-Tip did together is probably his best body of work ever.
What? Yeah, come on, man. Stop it. How you get? Is he LeBron James and cats right now?
Nah, I'm telling you,
Nope.
the guy doesn't sound like he lost one step with his pen.
No.
The beats that the God Q-Tip curated on this project is next level. like yo, I'm telling you, if if you could just X out the fact that LL's been doing this since the 80s and just listen to the music, just open your ears and listen to the music, yo, this album is better than any album this guy has ever put out. I mean, I had the fortunate pleasure of hearing the whole thing at Q-Tip's crib. I went to Q-Tip's crib and he played it for me, and yo, it's literally his best work ever, barring nothing.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Yo, I know that we're not talking about sports right now, but this is hip hop, and you don't get more hip hop than LL Cool J. You know what I mean? So, with that said, I think it's just a beautiful thing that at least with the first single, he's embracing the original sound, like the elements of the boom bap, but it feels real 80s, updated 2023. Like it just, and like you said, open it with a clear ear and a clear mind. I think this project in a lot of ways is going to revolutionize hip hop and bring it back. I'm impressed with the first single. I haven't heard the album, but the first single is amazing. So big shout out to LL.
Yeah.
So more importantly, though, bigger than LL Cool J, actually. Let's talk about Montana NICKS, bro. Congratulations, bro. Congratulations to see, that young lady the last 4 years do her thing as a basketball player and, got a scholarship and, about to make it to the next level. Can you talk about that and, that journey as a basketball dad?
Yeah, no, it's crazy, right? Because I was bugging. Like, I played ball my whole life, right? Like, I went to Bishop Loughlin. I played ball at Loughlin. And, basketball was life for me. But I also had another sport that I was into heavy, which was bowling, right? Like, I'm an avid, amateur or like semi-professional bowler. No bullshit. I know people laugh at that, but that's like a subculture within itself that's real. And I had gotten her into it when she was 11 years old, and she was like averaging close to 200 when she was 11. And I was like, oh yeah, like, nah, she's gonna get all the scholarships to all the big schools just for bowling. Like fastest growing sport in NCAA for women is bowling, right? So I was like, this is gonna be easy. I would save, Yo, she told me at the age of 11 she didn't want to bowl no more. She wanted to play basketball, and my heart crumbled because, I'm thinking she gonna pick it up for a year, and then drop it and not really like take it serious because, basketball is a whole nother commitment. She's a girly girl, like it's just different. It's such a crowded field for kids trying to get Division 1 scholarships or just scholarships period, whether it's D2, D3, whatever. Like it's just difficult. So but she said, nah, Dad, I went to the park, I played once, and ball is life for me. And I was like, stop, like this. And so from 6th grade on, she was playing basketball, and she went from not knowing her ass from her elbow to being in elite all-star teams and EYBL teams and I mean, like, 2-a-day practices, having 3-4 different trainers to work on different things from speed to shooting to IQ. And she got a full ride to Sacred Heart University. She'll be taking her talents to Fairfield, Connecticut.
Connecticut, yeah.
Nice,
Come this fall,
congratulations.
man. Word, bro.
Yeah, and just to be a fly on the window, watching through social media, the different posts you've been putting up over the years, seeing her grow, and then when you announced that she got the scholarship, and I was so proud for you. I know Coach E,
Yeah.
he coaches young ladies, and he's deep into it. Wes has a daughter that he's gotten in sports and athletics right now, and Cliff has a son that he's gotten in sports.
Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be really dope to have you come on and talk about that. And guys, if you have any questions for E,
Yeah.
comments, you jump in.
Well, first question
First of
is,
all, congrats. Huge
Thank you, brother.
achievement.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you.
is Sacred Heart still
Yeah.
in the NEC conference, Division
They
2,
so
or
they
did it
just
move up to Division 1?
so it's Division 1 NEC conference. They for the first time in a very long time, they made it to the NCAA tournament this season that just passed. They went to the NCAA tournament. They actually got to the second round. They won their first round, got to the second round, and then they got bumped. But it was a major achievement for that school because that school hasn't been to the tournament in a very long time, and they're looking forward to my daughter and another point guard, there, Sierra, being a major part of them continuing to push forward. So, I'm really happy for the school. The school is amazing. The facilities is dope. The Coach Manetti is dope. Like everything about the school is just dope. The education, that was one thing that I was worried about when she was telling, when we were thinking about school. I sacrifice education to play basketball because she had no desire of playing in the NBA, but she has the ability and she wants high level in college. So, I wanted her to have both, and Sacred Heart gives her both. So, she got a number of scholarships. Though she had University of Rhode Island, she had Drexel, she had Temple, she had a number of schools, but Sacred Heart was the one that we chose. So, you know, and I couldn't be more happy about the choice. Like I was leaning towards Drexel because of the education, but Sacred Heart doesn't sacrifice her education, and it still gets her a chance to play at a high level.
Yeah, yeah. Once again, congratulations. Now, we've been looking at the women's game grow. We've had plenty of discussions about, the slowness of the growth, financially, support wise, just the the unfairness between the men's and the women's game and how justified, it is. What are some of your thoughts about just the women's game, and where do you see it going? WNBA professional game for ladies.
For me, I had to really have like skin in the game just to understand how dope the women's game is, right? like
Mhm.
like having my daughter in it. So we now watching what she's gonna be, and we started watching a lot of the girls' games from, obviously we see what's going on with Angel Reese and
Mhm.
LSU, and we see what's going on with South Carolina, and so um, yeah, we got heavily invested, and the girls. Be honest with you, the girls NCAA basketball to me is more exciting, and I'm not saying because my daughter. I'm saying because I watch both. The girls is more exciting than the guys. Believe it or
Mm.
not.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we've did the knowledge on that this past year. How the women's game is more solid. I mean, there's a bunch of different reasons why talent leaving for the NBA early would have you. But just the engagement with the audience, crowd participation, like there's a built-in market for women's basketball on the college level that the WNBA is still working on. So yeah, we definitely agree with you. E, I know you want to hop in on this because we.
Well,
Yeah,
just,
because
just just to jump in real quick, I don't know if y'all were aware, but last weekend they sold out back-to-back preseason games in Toronto.
Toronto,
Yeah.
The WNBA, and then you're talking about 15,000, each night. So yeah, they getting big props, and it's mad love definitely in Canada. So they're talking about expansion, and that's definitely one of the spots that they're considering.
Yeah. See, the issue becomes the reason why the college is generating so much money versus the WNBA is because there's a vested interest in the student body, right? So you have huge amounts of crowds, and you have the TV deals with the crowds because the students are heavily vested when you're at you know these big D2 D1 schools like LSU and South Carolina and UConn, right? Like they sell out every night because of the students. But when they get to the WNBA and you have regular fans like the Wall Street crowd or the Madison Avenue crowd that buy tickets to the Knicks games or to the Los Angeles Lakers games, you don't have that so much. So now I think it's very important with the NIL and the deals that they're cutting, that the girls can now market themselves and brand themselves, that you're going to start to see a rise in numbers because you're going to start to see more advertisement. You see what Angel Reese is now in Sports Illustrated, and she's getting paid to do like her NIL money is like close to
Oh wow, we lost you, E.
He froze. Yeah.
Yeah, he froze up. If you can hear us, E, hop out, come back in.
Well, it sounded like he was going to say it's close to 4 million a
market and
year.
brand themselves.
There you go. Hold on one second, bro. You chopping in and out.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we can hear you. You
Yeah.
froze. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Yeah. So all I was saying was that with the NIL money, that these girls are going to be able to market themselves more and brand themselves more, and you're going to start to see that trickle over to the WNBA. So it was really important for these girls to be able to market and brand themselves, so
Yeah.
that you can start, because without the student bodies of the schools, it was a significant drop off when you get to the WNBA.
Mm. Coach, you wanted to chime in?
Yeah, this is my first year actually coaching girls AAU. I've coaching boys for 20 years, and a good friend of mine who's coached with me on the boys' side has twins who are very good. They're sophomores, the Paldo twins, and they actually have a Puma NIL deal right now as sophomores in high school. And he called me back in the spring, let me know what he was doing, putting the program. It's like, I want you to come coach, and I was like, I don't know. I've been on the boys' side, you know. Girls, I love the girls' game because to me it's true basketball. They play the game
The right way.
very fundamentally, and they still have the excitement of the guys' game. But one of the things I seen 3 weeks ago was my first live period coaching on the girls' side. And when I tell you, I was just amazed at not the talent, but the size of some of these young ladies. And they're going out there, 6'5", 6'6" girls playing ball and you know, they're big guards at their size, you know. And it was just amazing to see the level of skill that they had and the level what they didn't have when I'm sure you and I were coming up, the level of femininity on the court as well. You know, they bring that now, which is something that particularly when the WNBA first started, they did not have. And I think Angel Reese has shown that, you know, her now getting in Sports Illustrated, that what was lacking or what people, you know, would make fun of in the women's game now is no longer an issue.
Yeah,
And it's, I think that's what's going to explode the game, particularly for men and women to now gravitate. Like you said, in college, you watch it because it's there, it's on campus.
yeah,
And now I think that's going to cause it to explode because we're seeing these young ladies not as athletes, but as young ladies as well.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm familiar with the twins. They're incredibly talented. They're gonna go super far. I think their pops does an amazing job
Yes. Yeah.
with them. Feels like he runs Morris Catholic. Feels like he feels like it's his show, right? You know, they you know I've attended. You know, I go to a lot of games, and I've attended some of the games this past season a couple of months ago, and
Okay.
watched them play. And you know, they're gonna go extremely far. Number three, I forget their names, but number three is going super big. Like she's gonna. I think next year she'll
Yeah.
be nationally ranked, or she should be nationally ranked. Um, here's my problem with the high school game when it comes to girls. It's a lack of coaches that teach IQ,
Yep. Yep.
right? Like it seems as though it's a lot of coaches that yell and scream and do what you're supposed to do and do what you're supposed to do and do what you're supposed to do, but they don't teach IQ. and
Yeah.
and that's the problem. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hang on. Hey, Jack. They don't teach IQ, and what ends up happening is these girls, and particularly in northern New Jersey, the girls don't get the game as a science as much as they do. So they're thinking, because a lot of the parents are thinking skill, 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 and the
Yep.
game is not about skill. The game is about IQ,
Mm.
or I would say a large percentage of the game is about IQ. If you have if you get a real deep understanding of the game of basketball, it gives you the confidence and the understanding to know where to be, to think 3 4 plays ahead, and then you advance. And that's what coaches, and that's what the college coaches are doing. And I've learned that very early on. So with my daughter, aside from all the AAU programs she's been in. She's played with the Spark. She's played with Freedom. She's played with Unite. She's played with a lot of teams. And what I did was, aside from that, was get her coaching that, and get her training that taught her the actual game,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
that she can play at a higher level. And because of that, she ended up with close to 1,500 high school points. She was a number 11 in the state, and you know, we were very happy with her outcome. And now, you know, we're increasing her speed and increasing her arm strength so that she could bump with the girls at the next level, and keep going. So that's what we've been doing. But it's a lack of IQ training with the girl. Is a lack of IQ training in the high school sports level, which hurts the girls.
Yeah, I mean, you're right on point with that, and that's why DJ brought me over because I'm an X and O guy, and you know the belief is that, and even when I coached on the boys side, it was always the game as you go levels up, the game goes from the neck up. You know, it's no longer about your skill set, and so that's what we've really been focused on. And you're so right. Like I said at that first tournament, I told DJ right away after I looked at the game before hours. I said, "Oh, we're never going to lose if it comes down to coaching
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's bad. Like AU coaching is bad anyway, but on the girls' side, it's even worse." So it's,
I was yeah, but not to cut you off. But, like we were playing in we're playing a tournament in Spooky Nuke, right?
mhm.
And we at the time my daughter was on Freedom, and they were having a time. They were having a hard time. They played a really good team, but having a hard time breaking the press. So we get back home, and the very next day they have practice, and he went right back into doing skill drills. And I just couldn't do it. Like I'm sitting through the practice, and I try to be the parent who want to chill and not be the coach. Now remember, I played ball my entire life. I can
Mhm.
coach. I can coach, and this is no bullshit. I can coach better than any coach my daughter has had to date. But I try to chill and let them do their job and not be that parent. But I had to get up and say, "Yo, bro, you guys are doing skill training. This is shit that they were learning in 6th grade.
Right,
You
right.
had a major issue with your girls breaking the press. Why not fucking show them how to break the press right now?"
Yep.
And he's looking at me, and all the parents are like, "Yeah," and all the parents are like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Like they're with me, and I was like, "Yo, bro, I don't mean to get in your way, but I'm just trying to explain. Like, we can't keep coming here doing the same things and wasting my daughter's time if you're not going to take her to the next level."
Yeah, because
Right.
it's just thought that they're behind skill wise. When you got to teach them the game, they got to know how to think the game and then react. The skills, basic skills, can get you through. We see
Mhm.
plenty of pros that can only go half of the Knicks. I'm sorry, 60% of the Knicks team can only go left. So, you
Mhm.
know, skill is something that is overrated in many respects. You got to be able to
and
think the
it-
game.
and it's crazy because the
My
difference
fault, Quinn.
between yeah, but the difference between if you look at the men's game, the difference between Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and all the superstars and the other guys is IQ. If you think
IQ.
about what
Yeah.
makes Steph Curry, everybody wants to talk about his amazing shooting. Yeah, is an amazing shooter, but it's the fact that he can beat you and outthink you all over the court. Like, so whenever you want to take one thing away, he's looking for you to take that away so he can
Yep.
beat you the next way. And that's IQ. That's in the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
LeBron
So
I
if you
mean,
James,
want,
I mean,
LeBron James dissected the Golden State Warriors
to the
perfectly.
team perfectly. Oh,
yeah.
no, no, no.
Perfect.
We gonna talk about all that. Don't go too quick.
Okay.
Don't
Now
go
that
too
that
quick.
that was that's the difference between the elite players is the IQ. But one of the things when you mention IQ, that speaks to John Morant, which
All right,
is
all right, all right. See, Coach,
IQ favorite player.
you said you didn't want to talk about John Morant. You said if we brought up John Morant, you was hopping off the joint.
I
So
just said IQ. I'm not going to talk about him though.
no, we have to.
So let me just say to you, when you talk about IQ, John Morant is one of the most highest IQ players in the game of in a game of basketball right now.
And it doesn't
What
Like
about the
necessarily
game of life
translate.
though?
on the floor,
Yes.
he's a very high IQ basketball player,
Yep.
extremely
Sure
high,
is.
which which drives me even further crazy with the situation that he's in.
Talk about it.
His name is no longer John Morant to me. His
John Wick.
name is now NBA Dumbboy.
Mhm.
Yeah, Kwame Brown definitely coined the perfect
That
name
was the
for him.
best one. Kwame
Yeah,
Brown was the best one. Came up with it. I got to give credit to Kwame Brown.
yeah,
NBA Dumbboy. It's the best one.
yep.
Yeah, and Coach E. We got a text message thread that we chime in all week long. E. And when this whole John Morant thing popped off, Coach E, he was like, "I'm not talking about it. If we
Why
talk
not?
about this,
Why not?
I'm hopping off." And to that point, I don't think we need to, beat a dead horse. We all see what it is. It's really just a cautionary for young folks. That's not what you want to do. He has the world in his hand. he's throwing it away over silliness that he doesn't need to. So
But
we know what it is.
but before we put it to rest, let me tell you why. And I put up a post and I suggested that Adam Silver drop the hammer on him. And let me tell you why. Not that I don't believe that our young boys don't have redemption or whatever, but reason why I believe that it should be a full season and not 25 games. And I'm gonna tell you, so 25 games is a luxury. That means, I don't have to travel for 25 games. I get to chill. I can sit out. I come back, and play 10, 15 games before All-Star game, and then I can just play for the rest of the season and coax to the playoffs, right? Because they're gonna make the playoffs. They're a strong enough team. They're gonna always be in the playoffs, right? And the Grizzlies showed that they could win a tremendous amount of games without Ja. So it's a win-win for him. The only thing that he would lose is money. And the guy is guaranteed $230 million, so it ain't going to cost him but that much money.
His lifestyle ain't going to change because of this.
Here's why I think you got to drop the hammer on him and make it a full season and give him contingencies to a full-on ban if something like this ever happens again is and if this ever reaches Ja, I want Ja to understand this. This is to help you. This is not to hurt you. This is to prevent you or one of your friends or even an opposition from getting hurt because it's headed in that direction. Right? Mm-hmm. When you invite that type of energy into your world, it's gonna come. So when you and your homeboys pop up at a nightclub in Las Vegas or even in Memphis, and Memphis is a very real town. I don't know if you spent any amount of time in Memphis, but Memphis is a real town, right? And if some dumb kid or some,
it's really normal. I mean, if a normal situation pop off, something really bad can happen.
Right. And they already understand the energy that you bring in with firearms. Mm-hmm. And so now it's either you or them. You already saw the infrared beam on a bus or the high school kid where Ja goes back in the crib and get a gun. If any of those situations escalate the next time, somebody can get hurt. Mm-hmm. So for me, Adam Silver needs to drop the hammer and stop and prevent this from happening so that we're not on IZM Sports saying what should have happened when we had the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Wes, you want to hop in?
Wes.
Huh? Yep.
Did you want to hop in?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I mean, yeah. I'm listening to the whole thing. I agree with Heat, man. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, I think he needs to sit out at least half the season. That's minimum. Half.
No.
I think
half the season.
The whole season.
No.
He need to lose. Let me. The reason why he needs to lose the whole season is because that infrared situation. That's
I agree. I think the whole season is necessary, but I think at minimum half. But
half the season is a luxury.
At minimum, the whole season.
I don't disagree.
He's getting 20 games, yo.
I agree.
He's going to get 20, 25 games. What? He should get half, I think.
I think he should get the whole season, but of course, I'm thinking they're going to get half.
Listen, anything less than a whole season is a luxury. If you sit there and you say, "Yo, half the season," I just put my feet up and chill for half a season.
Yeah,
I don't have to do.
Well, you're right because of the playoffs. The playoffs. He missed everything.
Listen, Klay Thompson took off half the season this year because he was coming back from an injury. Yeah. And they could have brought him back earlier. They could have brought him back in December. And what did they say? Nah, let him chill and be fresh for the playoffs.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. I
had see the thing. I was texting Hawk. I had said, I'm sure there's some code of conduct or something in his contract. I would actually void his contract at this point to really send a message If possible,
Yeah.
if possible, to send a message. But I agree it should be the whole year, and not simply because of him, but also because of all those kids who look up to him, what he means. He has become that next wave of superstar that these kids want to emulate. And if his behavior continues, not only is something bad going to happen to him, but those who want to be like him.
And
and there's an argument to be said. I'm sorry to cut you off. There's an argument to be said about whether or not they're role models or not. They're basketball players. They sign up to be role models. That's fine. That's not why I believe that the hammer should be dropped. I believe that the hammer should be dropped so you can save somebody's life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that either
I
Ja,
agree.
one of his friends,
Yep.
or an opposition, or an opposition, life can be saved if you drop the hammer.
Yeah.
Like, these kids are going to be who they're going to be, whether Ja carries a gun or not. I don't think that he's going to influence one kid to pick up a gun and say, yo, Ja carries a gun, so I'm going to carry a gun. I don't really believe that. I feel like the kids who carry guns are going to carry guns because of their environments that they grew up in. And their friends around them are going to do that. Right?
Can I interject?
Sure, please.
All right. So it's like in certain parts of the country, right? Having a gun is like having the dope cell phone case. Like, it's not. It's a lifestyle. It's a drip. It ain't a, I carry guns because it's coming to the point now where having guns. I'm down here in Florida, so I see the gun shops and who's going in, who's standing on line, and it's not a lot. It's not, always thuggish, ruggish bone. It's jokers just rolling around packing. And if you in a place like Memphis, where you can legally open,
and it's permitless. Memphis, Tennessee is. Yeah,
you go in and permit. Man, you get my dope ass, whatever kicks I'm wearing. I'm gonna get the joint, the handle, to match my da-da-da-da-da. Like, it's like that. For him his man had the phone, picks it up. You see your man on live. Why would you put the gun up? You can have guns. That's not even a question. You can have it. Nobody's trying to take it from you. Well, why do you need to flash it? Because that's what we do. Yeah. That's the move.
And the reason, and so the reason for, and that's correct. And so the reason for the suspension is that the NBA knows that invites certain energy into your life, right? And
absolutely.
Listen, there's a rapper, Young Dolph, right? From Memphis, Tennessee.
Yep.
Right? Yep. He was taking his money, investing in real estate,
on the right shit,
doing the right things, but he was also rapping about that shit.
Yeah.
And he was about that life. And he carried guns and he did this and he had that energy. And they pulled up on him. And
sad.
And so I say that to say that Memphis is not a town that you want to just be,
I agree with you 1,000%, bro.
Not at all.
The Memphis Grizzlies in the NBA cannot fuel thuggery. They can't empower gangsterism.
Yep.
Especially when, the idea of, this is what I respect more than anything, because I grew up with, Hakeem, you know me very well. I grew up with kids who had to do things for survival, right? And in their survival was the consequences that they had to pay, whether it was jail or the graveyard or whatever. But they weren't doing it as.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Wait a minute. All right. So when he comes back, we'll let him wrap that up, and then we'll move the conversation along, because I know we don't really want to be talking about this right now.
Yeah, but the difference is us being from the North, and now Hawk, you living in the South, me living in the South. Everybody has guns.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's just like it's a part of your outfit. It's a part. It's and if you then are a thug or into that lifestyle, then it's just Wild Wild West.
Yeah,
I mean, furthermore, I wanted him shipped to Utah.
yeah, but I mean, listen. At the end of the day, it's tomato, because every city, every state has the same energy. Atlanta, Memphis,
Yeah.
South Carolinas, everywhere you go, everybody has the same type of energy. So it is what it is. But what I will tell you is, Ja has to be put in his place.
Yes.
You gotta drop the hammer, and somebody's got to look at this kid and say, "Yo, you might right now think that we're all coming down on you. We're not. We think you dumb as hell because number one, bro, you not doing what you got to do to eat off of this. Is not part of how you eat. You eating lovely, right? My friends had to do that to eat. They had to grip a gun and they had to do certain things to eat because there was no other outlet for them. That's what they knew. You don't have to do that. That's why I can't respect it. For me, my friends would not let me do that. I grew up in a middle-class family and I always had a meal on the table. So whenever it was any kind of, yo, E, you're not a part of this, go home. Right. Yo, get out of here. They protected me.
He hustling backwards.
Right.
Yeah, he giving money back.
Yeah, like you sound crazy. If I ever needed to carry a gun in the street, I would hire security first before I literally walked out and risked my freedom. I would hire security first. I would.
Yeah, but he's literally hustling backwards and giving money back because he's telling on himself. It's not like getting caught out there or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's protection or whatever. It's just him being,
hey, look, y'all, look what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm being necklace right now. Look at me. Yo, you go crazy right now. Like everything he's doing, you could do it, just not on Instagram, fam.
Live. Yeah, like
Allen Iverson got a second chance and never looked back, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The guy was going to jail for a very long time, and John Thompson saved him.
Yes, he did.
Got him
for not doing anything. For just being in the wrong place. Yeah. He was in the wrong place.
Well, he was part of it.
And he still kept.
He was part of it. He was part of it, but
nonetheless, he was part of it. But he still even after that, he still kept his friends and those close to him around. But everybody was invested in his future. Mm-hmm. What is really disappointing about the Ja Morant, from his family to his friends, they are all messing up the bag.
The money, yeah. Don't mess up the money.
Don't mess up the money.
Don't mess up the money.
His mom has been a part of, I believe, 2 of the incidences he's had already. His dad is at all the games dancing and, jumping up and down. Where are you now, Dad? Where are you now?
Don't fuck up the money.
Yeah. So it's that's my problem. That's why I believe not only should they sit him down for a year, but there should be mandatory counseling, because I believe there's something else involved. And I'm not saying it's drugs or alcohol. There's something mentally there that makes him do just dumb shit. And it comes with maturity. It comes with maturity, of course.
It's maturity and clout chasing. It's just
and he has to understand what that means and how that affects him. Sometimes counseling isn't just about not only because you have some sort of addiction. Sometimes it's just to teach you lessons in how to cope with life. People need life coaches. And a lot of these young multimillionaires need life coaches.
Yeah.
They need mentors, but you got to be willing to accept it. Right now, when you got a kid that's guaranteed $230 million and got all the money in the world and can travel and be anywhere they want to be and all the fame, it's very difficult for you to be able to tell them something.
Yeah. And that's why you
very
take
difficult.
away what. And that was my initial reaction of, hey, let's figure out how we can void this contract. I'm sure there. I talked to a couple former NBA players. There's something in there if they really want to go that route, they can do it. Except the players' union.
Listen. He's not a once in a lifetime talent, but he's pretty much close to that. And somebody else is gonna. I mean,
somebody will pay him.
If you're in American professional sports, we've shown that we will allow you to get away with just about anything as long as you still put butts in the stand.
Yeah.
As long as people are still buying a ticket to see you, we'll figure out how to get you back on the court. Once they feel like they don't have any use for you, all you got to do is just threatening your girl, and you're out. You're done.
You're done.
Forever.
You're done.
Finish. Yeah. And for Ja, he has too much value, right? He has too much value. They're gonna keep figuring out a way to get him back on the court because he has too much value. What Adam Silver has the ability to do is to suspend this guy for a full season, sit him down, and tell him, look at him in his face, call a meeting. You guys come to me right now, you, your father, and I want your homeboys that you hang out with. Yes. Come to me right now in my office. Yep. And I want him to look at him in his office and tell him, I don't give a fuck. If I ever hear about a gun around you ever again,
you're banned.
You're done forever. You will be playing in fucking Thailand.
You know how right. with Michael Vick's son, you bring in a Tony Dungy. And Tony Dungy is going to oversee the growth and development. And Tony Dungy says it's right. There's nobody in NBA associated that could be. Listen, young man, I'm gonna take you up under my wing, and by the time I'm done with you, I promise you'll be worth $5 billion.
Yo, Michael Vick was a different animal, man. Michael Vick wasn't a problem. Michael Vick's biggest crime was that he was fighting animals, which is bad. But that was a learned behavior, right? That was an understood behavior. This is not. This is a very unique and different situation. This is a young kid who is enamored by hip hop and rap culture and the street gang life culture that he wants to emulate. That it's Aaron Hernandez. It's more Aaron Hernandez than Michael Vick.
I don't know.
I don't know that.
Yeah, that's
Aaron
was crazy, yo.
I don't think Ja is that far gone.
Hold on.
There has to be somebody that.
Let him finish.
Family
I'm out there, so you gotta let me finish it.
Let him finish.
You gotta let me finish it. So reason why it's not Aaron Hernandez to you guys just yet is because nobody has died yet.
Yep.
Right?
That's what tomorrow, you was going there.
Right. But tomorrow, now this guy is running around driving in a car every day with a gun. Any instance, he could stop at a convenience store. He could stop at a mall. He could stop anywhere and run into a problem where there's gunplay. Now somebody's dead. Now y'all going to be like, oh, it's Aaron Hernandez. You're waiting for somebody to die for it to be Aaron Hernandez. And I'm telling you, we're trying to prevent that. We need to be reactive. We need to be proactive instead of reactive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Aaron Hernandez showed everybody far before people started dropping who the fuck he was. And we didn't believe it.
Aaron Hernandez was involved in other criminal activity that led to the deaths of,
and we don't believe this is who Ja really is. Right. We just think he's kind of fronting. At least, he wasn't really truly raised like that in the street.
But guess what? Even if you weren't raised like that, fear causes
somebody dies.
Fear.
Oh yeah, I get it.
He may be putting on that front now, but like my man is saying, Eric is like, oh, listen, he could kill somebody tomorrow because of even fear, because he might feel he might get shot, and he has a gun. Now you got to use it.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, I'm in alignment with that. I think he needs a year at least, right? I don't know if Adam Silver, like him going, I'm going to do this. It's more engagement with the family over time because there's so much at stake. It's not like, you behave or else. It's like, no, Like we gotta filter out negative people. Like if it ain't this, and this, they can't come around.
Yeah.
They mad. Oh well. It's
That's
not
true.
you and your boys come. Nah, you can't bring them. Why? Because they'll red dot the Indiana Pacer bus.
Well, what we have to realize is that they just had this conversation. So something was said at that conversation, that he obviously,
The red dot of the Indiana Pacer bus is a big deal.
Yep.
No, it's not to them.
No,
It's not to the. Hold up.
but it should. He should have been gone for a year.
Guys,
Then
you're missing the point. You're missing the point. The point is Ja is a high value asset. As long as he's a high value asset, the guy could go beat up his girlfriend. The guy could red dot the opposing team's bus. The guy can do this, and they're going to continue to find ways to get him back on the court because it's about money.
Well,
And you know what else you gotta consider? It's about money. And y'all made a point.
Then there's no answer to it.
Y'all made a point though earlier. Y'all were talking about Ja. Y'all were talking about Ja and Zion, right? And when you really you look at it, Ja really is the most marketable superstar right now after LeBron James.
Yeah.
When LeBron goes, it's a wrap. There's nobody in between besides Ja Morant that's at that level
right now. They banking on somebody don't even play in the league right now.
Huh?
They banking on somebody that don't even play in the league.
They talk about this guy Wendy. It's Ja Morant after LeBron in terms of marketability, in terms of superstar status. He's the closest thing they have at a young level that they were hoping could take this pass the baton to, but that's not happening.
Yeah, I don't want to stop the rest of the conversation, but I do want to put a pin in that point, Wes. Remember what you just said. I want to bring that back up for another point. I'm sorry.
I want to get some pushback on the whole marketability thing because, and we talked about this in the thread. We talked about this on the phone. Nike just brought Ja in really as their next guy, the big guy, and he replaced Kyrie, who was literally their biggest seller for something he said.
They're suffering.
That's something that could harm someone, that could take a life, that could do anything detrimental for something he said. So I do believe, although it is about money and marketability, it's also whenever they decide, they can pick and choose. They can pick and choose who that person is and when they want to cut them off. And I think you're right in that they haven't said just yet, all right, we're going to cut Ja off. They gave them.
You can't.
You can at any point because they're always.
You can't. Yo, listen, guys. Kyrie got cut off because he did what? Fucked with the Jewish people, right?
That's the money. That's where the money comes from.
Hold on. The one thing the Jewish people take more serious than their money is their heritage, right? You fuck with the Jewish people, you over. Kanye West, fuck with the Jewish people. Adidas is holding the bag for $1.5 billion to the point where Adidas had to circle back and say, "Yo, this shit is too bad. We gotta reignite just to get this this last shipment out because we're fucked, right?" You can't fuck with the Jewish people. They cut them off.
No, I understand all that. I understand that.
Kyrie. What reason why they haven't made any movements on Ja is because Ja's doing shit that's detrimental to him and his community. He's not doing detrimental.
That's where I was going with it. Yep. That's where I was going.
He's not doing anything detrimental to anybody else.
I don't know what happened to your mic, E, but it's a little shaky right now. You're a little fuzzy, E NICKS.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. I know.
No, you definitely. That's where I was going with it because Ja is doing something that could hurt himself or those around him.
Yep. It's no big deal.
It's not a big deal.
No big deal. All right, I want to transition away from Ja Morant. We wish him well. Hope this gets figured out. We want nothing but the best for him and his family. So hope they can work it out. All right, Wes, you made a point earlier about looking for another star to market,
Wimby.
right? Say it again.
Wimby.
Right? He ain't even in the league yet. What about these other cats that's in the league? What happened to Joker? What happened to all the talk about the international player dominating the league? Only international player really still left is Joker. He's the truth, by the way. He's one of my favorite players. But we look at who's left.
MVP.
Can I for a second, guys? So I'm glad that this is a perfect show to talk about this on, right? Because this is a fusion of hip hop and sports, right? And just last night, I watched the Air movie, right? Mm-hmm. The Michael Jordan Air movie.
He froze up. He froze up.
I was gonna watch
Michael
it. I was
Jordan
watching Air movie.
Has anyone seen it?
There you go. Michael Jordan Air movie.
Right. The Run DMC saved Adidas.
Yeah.
Right. And Michael Jordan saved Nike.
Yep.
Right. And Michael Jordan's mom is basically responsible for all of these players getting participation on their sneakers. Allen Iverson with Reebok and everything, because of the deal that Michael Jordan's mother structured for him. LeBron James with the Serena Williams with the lifetime deal, all these people with the lifetime deals is because of LeBron James's mother. With Michael Jordan's mom. But the one thing reason why I bring that up is because when you start to talk about Joker and you start to talk about Homeboy in Dallas and all these international players, they ain't hip hop. Hip hop runs the world, bro.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Hip hop runs the motherfucking world. And if you don't have any hip hop correlation in you, these young kids ain't following you. These young kids ain't rocking your sneakers. Michael Jordan's Jordans are not basketball sneakers. You don't see no kid nowhere
on the court wearing them.
Or in court wearing Jordans. I know. I go to all the AAU games. I go to all the high school games. Not one kid wears Jordans on that court.
Yep.
Every last one of those kids got on either Kyrie's,
KD.
the Kyrie's or the KDs. Right? Those are the leading sneakers. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's all hip hop culture. Everything about what these kids are wearing is based on culture. And these international superstars aren't culture.
Gotta get the hip hop.
In order to be successful in this game of basketball, when it comes to marketing sneakers and marketing the game of basketball, we're never going to get behind an international kid running the way. Great. Oh, yeah, you're dope. Joke is dope. We can talk about him, everything. These kids don't want to be like them. These kids they're not going to have the impact on the game that Steph Curry had. Yep. You're not going to have the impact on the game that LeBron James has had. Mm-hmm. You're not going to rock the Kobe 12s. You're not going to rock the Joker 12s like you rock the Kobe 12s. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Jordan is big, man. He's in golf. Like his golf sneakers are tight. Like I'm like, damn, those are kind of fly. I need to be a pair of those. But this is ridiculous, the fashion that he's involved in. Because you're right. You hit it on the head. It's true. It's true. So true.
No, listen, it's crazy. It's about our culture. Our culture is so important, bro. Yo, we don't know. I mean, I hate the fact that Run DMC doesn't own 20% of Adidas. I hate that.
Facts.
I hate it.
Yeah, they saved them completely.
Wow.
I hate that Busta Rhymes doesn't have a percentage of Cavassier.
I hate it. That Cavassier story is the illest ever. He saved the whole city in France.
I hate it. And to me,
he saved it.
And to me, it as much as rap music is violent, if you look everywhere, you look at what the NBA plays at the games, you look at what every commercial is, it's amazing to me that more corporations don't attach these rap kids to their products and build products around these kids. And for Nike to not say, yo, Jordan, we're gonna make you have the Air Force One, and they created their own shoe around this guy, and then created a whole line of 1 through 13 around this guy. And the fact that you see the blueprint, you don't sit there and you go, NBA Youngboy or any of these other kids, yo, come here, we're gonna create this jean line around you, or these are NBA Youngboy jeans. Like, they are bugging. This is what it is.
It's the liability.
It's funny you say that about the sneaker because
liability.
They did that with the was it the Dunks when Jordan came out with his first black and red Nikes. They had the college students were all wearing the Nike Dunks, and they were all red and white. St. John's had red and white. Somebody had blue and white. Somebody had Georgetown had their own sneaker. Yeah, Georgetown had their own. Like, it was everybody in the Big East, obviously, right? It was all rock. And North Carolina had sky blue and white, but that was all because of the Jordan sneaker. And they called them Dunks. They didn't even call them. They wasn't even Jordans. They were called Dunks. A whole new line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Spike Lee, by the way. Mark Blackman, no doubt.
Yeah, but just to answer your question, no international player is going to come here and create that energy. It's not going to happen.
Nah.
Because they're not a part of our culture. They don't look like us.
That's real talk.
I think that's where
Wembyama.
I think transcends that because, one, he looks like us and he's come up in hip hop culture, albeit through France, but he's come up in hip hop culture. And I think that's where he's going to truly transcend the game and take it where they thought Joker and Luka would. He will be able to do it.
Yeah.
Nobody's sitting in the NBA marketing department saying, yo, Joker and Luka is not going to carry our game. As much as we want to spread to the international markets, they'll do well in the international markets. But you got to remember, the cash cow is America, and they're not going to move our game forward in America. We still need an African American who's cool to do it, and that's why they're trying to figure out Ja Morant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Good stuff.
Okay. So let's talk about these playoffs. I know Wes kind of sparked an interesting conversation about Steve Kerr. I don't know if you want to dig into that, Uncle Wes.
Oh, I didn't even get to look at the rest of the responses. I was just my point was I have nothing against. I do get the rings, right? But I kind of broke it down, and the other stuff that I reported on actually happened too, right? So that is part of his resume.
Let's reset the table. So
okay, brother. So I just said that I felt like Steve Kerr did a horrible job this year coaching, right? So that was my first thing. So then I just broke it out and I said, well, I think he got exposed a little bit based on the fact that, Luke Walton still coached that team to 36 wins out of 37 games. Mike Brown coached that team to 35 wins in 40 games. So that's, in my account, that's 70 wins in 2 years when you had to sit out. So I can say that, you put a program in place that when you were absent, it was able to still roll, but you inherited a team that had a new engine because Steph Curry didn't have foot problems no more. When he took over, he was healed with that, and Mark Jackson put the pieces in place. And yes, he was a better communicator. Put Draymond in terms of with the upper management. Put Draymond in the right position to succeed, and the team, they went forward. But in the season that he won 15 games, Clay and KD left. Clay got hurt. They played 65 games, and in my assessment in NBA lore, when you are Steph is considered a top 25 player ever right now, right? We can all agree to that, I would think. People got him at top 10, right? So when you're a top 10 player, to me, there's a number of wins that you should automatically get because you're on the team. And then you add to that, right? So when I say LeBron James's name, I get, LeBron, you could say 45 easily. He's going to win no matter who he plays with. And then you can add to that number. Between 40 and 45 games, he's going to win, I think, unless he gets hurt. That's the only time that LeBron hasn't won those games is when he gets hurt. Huh?
Not necessarily, but I don't want to stop you.
No.
Let
When did LeBron play a
everything you're
full
saying.
season?
land that plane, Wes. Land that plane.
Say it again.
I'm going with what you're saying, and I'm riding with you. I never thought Steve Kerr was a was a great coach. I never to this day I never thought he was a phenomenal coach. He gets the credit of a lot. He gets the credit of a lot of success that a lot of other people did, particularly Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson put together this team. Mark Jackson even structured the offense that they run
around those two great shooters. Yeah.
But he structured the offense in that the way you run off of picks and the way you got Steph Curry and you Klay Thompson who never stopped moving.
Why did he do that though? Why did Mark Jackson do that? Because he played with Reggie Miller. Like it's right there in front of us. Like we don't even like Mark Jackson was Reggie Miller's point guard and he structured the offense just like that.
Correct. and Steve Kerr benefited from that, right? But the one thing that Steve Kerr didn't do that Mark did was Steve Kerr said, I don't give a shit. Mark Jackson told his team, I don't give a shit what you do on offense as long as you give me 100% on defense. And now you can see with the exposure of Steve Kerr's defense that it was a major problem. Yeah. But you can't punish, but I'm just not in favor of punishing these coaches for not winning at all. Right?
Oh no, I'm not punishing him. I'm just saying that you got four guys like Kuminga, a Weissman, a Poole, and a Moody, and everyone sat on this panel last year at this time saying they set for another 3 to 5 years. We all said that.
Yeah.
We all felt like when they won the championship, they had the veteran presence and the young players in play and positioned to go to the next level. We all said that. We all were like, man, Golden State, they had those low draft picks. I mean, they had those high draft picks, and they got Steph and Klay coming back healthy. We thought they were set for a while. To me, this was a horrible year.
I'm gonna tell you what the horrible year is, and everybody blamed Draymond, but Draymond was not as wrong as and so I have a little inside information. As soon as Jordan Poole got his bag, he started acting very selfish, very out of culture.
That was obvious. Yep.
And the one person who is very protective of the culture of Golden State is Draymond Green. Yep. And that's why KD had to leave, because KD started to feel like he was the reason why they were winning, and Draymond had to tell him, bro, we was winning before you got here. You came here because we're winners, right? And then so Durant, being the sensitive person that he is, said, all right, well, win when I leave. And then he won when he left, and now he's like, yo, I wish I could go back, right? Because he realized that they're still that team because of the mentality, right?
Yeah.
Steph Curry said, listen, Durant is an easy bucket. I'll be the second option. Let Durant be the first option. Not many superstars do that.
No, they don't.
He knew that if he took second fiddle to Durant, he won't be considered for MVP of the year or the scoring title or any of that stuff. But at the end of the day, they all fed into winning championships. Mm-hmm. So he said, yo, as long as Durant's here, I'll be the second option. It takes a big person to be that way. Jordan Poole.
Oh, this is not my argument. Nothing to do with Steph. Nothing. Yeah. I still think Steph is phenomenal.
Right, but I think that Jordan Poole, the young kid, and it hurts me because I'm a huge Michigan fan, and he comes from Michigan. And Jordan Poole got his bag, and he's like, "Yo, it's about me."
Yep.
And Draymond was getting sick of his attitude, so he punched him in his face.
Yep.
And all during this whole playoff season, this whole run, you can see Jordan Poole is suffering from it. Now you got to put this kid on a trading block and get rid of him. You got to get the cancer out of the locker room.
Yep.
And you got to trade for like you Sean Livingston and Andre Iguodala were perfect type of people. You need those type of people back on your team, that when Curry's off the floor and Klay is off the floor, they give you quality minutes. And Jordan Poole, unfortunately, is not doing it. Kuminga is not consistent enough. The only one that I like that's consistent enough is GP3. he's very consistent with his
Moody?
game. Moody is up and down. You never know. Like
Who'd you say?
Who'd you say before that? Who'd you say
CP3.
was?
GP3.
Oh, Gary
Oh,
Payton.
Gary. Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's very consistent with his
Hustle.
play.
His
He
motor is
hustles.
always
He
running.
does what he's supposed to do. He does the little things.
Mm-hmm.
He'll guard whoever you tell him to guard. He'll come off the bench with 30 seconds left in a quarter and hadn't been in the game all day and play like he's been in the game since he started.
Yeah.
And so I love that mentality. And that's what makes me a huge fan of Steph Curry and a huge fan of Golden State. I'm a New York Knicks fan, but I do root for the Golden State Warriors because of their mentality, because of the way they move the ball, but the way that you got superstars running off back picks. You know, you got James Harden and Carmelo Anthony, who, if they adopted the same mentality, these guys would have went down as the best, some of the best ever as well. But when they don't have the ball, they put their hands in their pocket and they just stand off to the side. Whereas Steph Curry, when he doesn't have the ball, he's running off back screens and running a marathon, trying to get the open shot and giving his team more options. And that's why they are who they are. And so, you know, you just got to get the cancer out of the locker room. That's Jordan Poole. And you know, unfortunately, Steve Kerr has such a dynamic group of guys that he's going to look like a star no matter what, because you know, he's just got a great bunch of guys. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I just know that, you know, people sort of like Popovich was a product of Tim Duncan, you know, so every coach is a product of somebody if they got a superstar, but you still got to be able to get those other guys to sign on, right?
You gotta get
the other guys to sign the document too and be part of that, to be part of that contract, you know?
Yeah, I represent recording artists, right? And I never know how they're going to act once they get their bag. Some adopt the Beyonce, Jay-Z mentality where they keep going and everything is about getting better and being better and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then some people just get lazy and start to act like money's never going to run out. And, you know, they got a couple of $1 million in the bank account and they rather hang out with their chicks than be in the studio trying to get bigger and be the best. It's just a mentality. Like, you know, you got the people like Drake who keeps going. And then you got the people like some of the kids that catch one hit or two hit and a whole bunch of money and just disappear. And it's the same thing with basketball players. With Jordan Poole, he got his bag, and it's just like, yeah, like for me, I want to, like, if I'm Jordan Poole, I'm setting myself up for when Steph Curry retires, so that it could be my team.
Yeah,
and I could be,
and not even
trying to leapfrog that position.
Not even when he retires. I'm still trying to compete with him right now.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but
that's a trust factor that you earn from a veteran player. He's like, yo, that dude is working hard, and now we doing this collectively, and I can turn the keys over to this kid any day now.
Right.
And so I'm in good hands.
You have to know, you know, when to be a follower, when to be a leader. When is your turn to be a leader? And accept the follower, not follower in a negative sense, but you know, there's role players, and even though you can light it up, you have a role. Yeah. You're not Steph, you're not Clay. You're here to play a three, and you know, and when you think that you're not that, you know, you're trying to always exhibit your one skills. You're short on that, so why even do it? Play your role.
But he's definitely a cancer because he was questioning Clay. He was saying that how do you have Clay on the court when he's missing shots, but you don't have me on the court? Because Clay has 3 other championships, dog. That's why Clay is a proven commodity,
and he can do more. He can do more than make buckets. He can go D you up. You can't.
And he played defense.
Yeah, but that statement shows you his mentality. His mentality isn't that I got to go through the process of earning what's mine. I got to earn what's mine. Once he got his bag, he felt like he earned it.
He earned it already. Yeah, I think we were talking. You said statement, right? And the other statement that just blew my wig off, and Damian Lillard said it perfectly, like, huh? So Embiid saying, "Me and Harden can't do it alone." I'm like, dude, like y'all lost, but you guys are both great. You guys are both MVPs. I mean, you got an MVP this year. Harden's been an MVP. Tobias Harris is not like, I mean, he gets paid like a star, right? And you got a young Maxey. You got a tough guy named PJ Tucker.
And Harris outscored Embiid and Harden in that game. So
yeah, I thought it was an off statement, but you know, that's just the mentality again that you need 3 superstars now to win a championship.
No accountability.
I don't think that James Harden is a winner.
I don't either.
I think
I
that
don't
he's a
either.
phenomenal player, but I don't
Yeah.
think that James Harden has the ability to play with another superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as bad as that Philly thing was a debacle, but we can't really blame James because he got him 2 games. Embiid didn't get him in.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Harden got him 2.
Follow my statement. James Harden cannot play with another superstar. He doesn't have the ability to play with another superstar because he's
I'm blaming James Harden and Joel Embiid.
Yeah,
I heard that.
No, hold on. But let me just follow me for a moment. Game 1, right? Joel Embiid is out. James Harden goes off for 40 and 10, 40 and 15, almost triple double, big numbers. They win. They sneak the game 1 at home against Boston, right? Joel Embiid comes back. James Harden disappears.
He disappears. Yeah.
Yep.
And he disappeared for the remainder of the series. He disappeared. And the reason why is simply because James Harden, when he does not have the basketball, he's ineffective.
Yeah.
He has to pat, step back or go. He's either going to go downhill and get a layup, or he's going to pat, side step 3. That's his game. When he doesn't have the basketball, he puts his hand in his pocket and he's out of the game.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
And if you don't impact the game, and then he doesn't play defense. But if you don't impact the game when you don't have the basketball, you're basically giving them the ability to double and triple Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
And that's what hurts Joel. So when you look at the Joker and Denver, and he's got all his players spread out, he's a willing passer, you can't double him because you got the people spotting up ready to kill, moving in positions to get him the basketball.
Yeah, and I can't even to your statement, Cliff, that Harden got them 2 games. I can't say he got him 2 games. He hit an open shot in the other game that they won. Which
He
was
scored 45 in both of them. Listen, neither one of them showed up in game 6 or 7, which is the point, because they should have won the series. Harden
he had 0 points in the fourth quarter in game 7.
He had 0 points in the fourth quarter in game 5, 6, and 7.
They conceded. That's why. Because they conceded.
Bro, they stopped playing.
Yeah,
the game was over.
They weren't running up and down the court.
Something happened. Something happened, and they stopped playing.
The game was over at halftime.
Yeah.
The game was over at halftime.
They stopped playing.
But it was a 3-point game at halftime. I didn't understand it. It was a 3-point game at halftime.
In game 7?
Yeah, game 7. It was 3 points at halftime. Because I had my internet went out and I called somebody and they said, hey, I said, my buddy said he's a Celtics fan. He said it was a 3-point game at halftime. They were down 20. No, but it was 33. It was 33-10 in the third quarter. They outscored them 33-10 in the third quarter.
Third quarter, they blew it open. Third quarter,
it was 33-10 in the third quarter. That's what happened.
So went wrong. Something happened.
It was crazy.
Wait, Joe was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. We out of here.
Hold on. I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah.
Go fishing.
Go look it up. I'm pretty sure.
Because in the fourth quarter, in the first quarter, it was basically a blowout.
No, but Philly was up in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Philly was up in the first quarter
going into the second quarter.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is they got outscored. They got outscored 33-10 in the fourth quarter. I mean, the third quarter
they blew it open. I mean, and I think Harden. I don't think he's a winner. I think he's a selfish player, even though he gets assists. Yes, he gets assists. But I think any point guard can get assists. Because they're a point guard.
Oh, I agree with all that, y'all. Believe me, I'm not defending.
I think he's a coach killer. I think he's a coach killer.
Yeah.
But what bothered me was Embiid not taking accountability as an MVP, as really the leader of the team and what the team is built around. Him not taking accountability, I thought was sad to see.
Yeah, but what we do have to realize is that the early part of that clip, he did initially take accountability, said it was on him, but then towards the end of it, he went where he shouldn't have gone and basically and that's what's being replayed now. The later part of his rant, because the first part of his presser, he did say, I got to do better, whatever.
Yeah, he did say I got to do better.
Then later on is when he really, threw everybody under the bus because they played like ass, yo. I mean, like I don't even know how he could even said that. What did he have? Like 11 points or 15?
I think he had 15 and Harden had 9, something like that.
And neither one of them scored in the fourth quarter, something crazy like that. I mean, it was crazy.
Wasn't good. Let's put it that way.
I mean,
you guys, just so you know, you guys were right. They were only up 5 at half.
Okay, at 5. It was 5. I knew it was close, and then it was 32-10 in the third quarter, right?
Yeah, because they lost. The Celtics lost 29-23 first quarter.
Yep.
And then Celtics won 33-22. So it was 11. They were down 5. They were down 6 and 11. So it was 5 at half, and then went 33-10. And then the fourth quarter, they only won by 2 points.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was the third quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with the statement he shouldn't have mentioned his teammates. You don't mention your teammates when you didn't do your job. If you did everything you supposed to, you gave your all, and your teammates didn't step up, then yes, you can call them out. But in this case, don't say anything about your teammates.
But if we look at the totality of that series, what game did Embiid give them? That's what I'm saying. As an MVP, he didn't give them anything. He didn't give them not one game. I'm saying at least Harden with the 240 plus games, they won those games. So and they were up 3-2. So you expect them to get one of those games, and
And Embiid didn't play in game 1 and 2.
I think Embiid.
He played in game 2.
Game 2. He played game 1.
Yeah.
I truly believe Embiid was still injured.
Oh yeah, I believe so too.
He's not 100%, and he's shown that he takes a long time to come back from injuries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
JT,
I'm not saying the jump shooting centers either, but I think the other thing about when the offense goes through him and the ball stops right there with him.
Yeah.
And where Joker,
I don't mind jump shot.
But the ball stops with everybody though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just don't move. That ball will move on Philadelphia. It just stops. It stands still.
Yeah.
It's like,
and that's because James Harden's type of play is contagious.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah,
that's true.
You ain't even touching it, and you ain't even asking for it, and you know what I'm saying? And y'all.
And you got to remember, Doc Rivers said it's got to be Blake. It was Blake Griffin. Blake was here. It must be Blake.
And what was disappointing about Embiid was he never, not once, went inside and posted Al Horford up.
Yeah, he had to face him every time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, you can't, and that's why I like Joker better, because Joker, he gonna take you to that block if you got to.
Yeah, he gonna take him.
Yep. So wait, before we hop over to that, what's up with them Knicks, Cliff?
Well, I told you last week. Don't. I wasn't up on here hyping. I said we'll get that game 5 and we'll lose in game 6, and that's exactly what happened. They gave a good effort. You know what I mean? They didn't get
Randle gave a good effort.
Huh?
Julius Randle gave a good effort.
Better than I thought, and they.
He was riding around in that he was riding around with that Accord.
Yeah, but unfortunately it came down to Brunson. If you watch the game, Brunson is the one,
Brunson was bowling.
I mean, he put up 40-41s. You can't blame Brunson.
Yeah, you can't blame him on that one play.
You can't blame Brunson, but he did. He
goes right down to the
Josh Hart.
Yeah. I mean, you can't.
Hey man, he was doing everything. He was Superman. Sorry.
He left him out there. I mean, he left it out there for the Knicks.
Yeah.
And his name is Jalen Brunson. Again, like, he wasn't the all-star. Julius Randle was.
Right. The all NBA player.
Yeah. So
Mr. 25 and 10.
Yeah.
Where's Derwin Wilson at?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, he ducking the smoke.
Yeah,
last
listen.
week he was rah 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 rah.
I think we talked. I think we.
And
talked
I didn't
about
say
this
Julius
stuff.
Randle was a bad guy. I just said that he was, because a Honda's a great car. It lasts a long time. I didn't say anything. That's all I said. It was a great car. I just said, but it's not. You're not gonna see it at a car show. You're not gonna see it at Javits Center. That's where y'all go, right? The Javits Center. That's in New York. Yep.
San Antonio got the #1 pick.
They did.
Ooh. San Antonio gonna have Wemby, huh?
It's over.
Popovich is back.
Popovich strikes again.
You got Wemby, huh?
Popovich strikes again.
It's not even fair what he about to do to the league, bro.
Hey,
But that guy, that's the perfect coach for that player.
Yep, because he's great with bigs and he's great with international players.
And he's great with young players if he gets them early.
Yep.
Before they get scarred.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I like
they got a nice young core down there in San Antonio. Wow.
We needed Wemby in New York, bro.
Was never gonna happen.
I know. But to be honest with you, I'm telling you, if we ever get another big superstar player and they make it to the championship, that player is gonna be the biggest ever. Like it's like we see that the NBA is better when the Knicks are playing well, man.
Oh man, it was dope to see the playoffs in the Garden. I'm not a Knicks fan, but it's nothing like NBA basketball when the Knicks are playing in the playoffs.
Yeah,
nothing. Sure. There's no crowd like the Garden crowd, man. It's so intimidating, that roar. It's just crazy.
Yeah, let me throw something at y'all. What y'all think about Ayton on the Knicks?
Who? I don't want that softy.
DeAndre Ayton?
Ayton, nah.
Yeah.
Nah, I think we need I think that we need
Spurs win the first, get the first pick. Y'all see that?
Yeah, we just talked about it.
Yeah, we just talked about it.
Yeah, but I think we need Giannis, man.
I do believe that could be his next spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't see him staying in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think we need like a superstar.
Yeah.
I think that we have to get rid of Randall, man.
I think I agree. I definitely agree on that.
I definitely think that we gotta get rid of Randall. I think that we gotta I'm happy that we have the kid from Dallas.
What up, Coach?
Yo, what's up, Coach? What up, Coach?
What's happening?
But we got
Dame might be on the trading block too. So.
Why?
Yeah, I would that. Then that's not a good.
Why do we need Dame?
Like Jalen Brunson and Dame. Nah.
I believe two guards can always play together.
Yeah, I think if New York had a more than decent big man, and
Portland had two guards for a very long time. It didn't do anything.
Yeah, they didn't have anything else either.
What?
They didn't have anything else. They just had McCollum and
you don't have anything else.
Yeah, true that.
I think like Julius Randle is like almost there. Because with Jalen Brunson,
no, Julius Randle is Jordan Poole. His mentality sucks. Julius Randle gets the ball and looks for himself first, and then when he doesn't have it, he passes it out. That's terrible basketball. Instead of playing within a system and realizing night to night what's good and what's bad, right? And this series, Jalen, you're going to be able to take over and create because they can't hold you. I'm going to be the decoy, right? You do your thing, right? It's the mentality to get you to the next level. They should have beat Miami. They didn't beat Miami because he wanted to be selfish. We looked good game one when he wasn't there. We looked good.
Yeah.
Game two, we look good.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying about Jalen Brunson and the other pieces that are there. Maybe somebody, RJ Barrett might have to be out. But I think they have a really good team. It's not like
the thing is you're not going to get a lot for RJ Barrett yet. right? But we could get a decent amount for Randall. But you're not going to get enough for RJ Barrett. He hasn't built up enough cachet, right? You might get a second round pick or maybe a lateral player like him, but you're not going to get anything significant for him.
Yeah.
Right? But
what they can do is do a sign and trade for Austin Reeves.
That ain't happening.
Sign
him.
Give me Austin Reeves.
You can keep him, yo.
That ain't happening.
Lakers is not letting him go.
They may have to because of what he's doing to command, and they're so far over the salary cap. Now here's where Dame is definitely leaving Portland. Portland is projected to take Scoot Henderson, who's a point guard.
Oh.
So that means they got the number 3 pick, or number two or number 3 pick. So that means Dame he's gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Brunson need a slasher.
So I don't know where he's going, but he's out of there.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying.
We just need somebody. We you know what we needed, and I know he's been hurt and he's been not on the floor as much, but I still hate that we had to settle for RJ Barrett instead of Zion Williamson. Because Jalen Brunson with Zion Williamson, if you can fill the team in around those two guys.
Yeah.
Well, we just need Zion.
Who's Zion Williamson? I thought that was Snuffleupagus from Sesame Street. Who is that guy?
Oh man, somebody made the joke that it looked like, between Zion Williamson and John Morant, RJ Barrett was the best pick.
That's false. That is totally false. That is totally false.
Wow.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
It is a joke. Yeah, that's definitely a joke.
If you ain't on the floor,
he's got to play, man. He's got to just get on the court, man.
If what happens to John Morant, what you suggested, he ain't on the court. So what difference does it make? He can't give you numbers. So
yeah, that's the only thing about Zion is like he ain't never on the court.
Zion Williamson, me in New York, he may not got hurt. Like
Zion Williamson he's such a big, strong joker that the torque in his body is he tears his knees up.
Yeah.
He's gonna do that anyway. The way he plays like we want to see everybody play. And in his case, that's a problem.
Yeah, but he's been eating all those beignets down in New Orleans, Joe.
Yeah, he's eating a lot of jambalaya
on that beignet diet down there.
Yeah. Yeah, man. All right, so what about the you talked about the Golden State. Who's the other team?
Lakers.
Well, no,
Lakers.
Lakers
in Denver.
Lakers in Denver.
About to start in a few minutes.
All right, so
I'm glad we jumped into that because it's actually starting now.
Yeah.
But so let me just say this because then I'm gonna jump off. All of these series is showing you that when you have these superstars, Steph Curry, LeBron James, you have all these guys, is about the others, is about the Austin Reeves, is about the other players that's going to contribute, right?
Yep.
Like for Golden State, they didn't have any help from Poole. They didn't have any
nothing.
The bench was real short.
Yeah, even Looney, who was ill for most of the series, he didn't help. So when it comes down to the Lakers in Denver, I think Joker is gonna annihilate Anthony Davis.
I agree with that part.
But I think the same thing is gonna happen on the other side.
But I don't know what's gonna happen. It's all gonna come down to the Austin Reeves and the others.
Yeah.
Right?
The Porters, the Austin Reeves, the Aaron Gordons, the Caldwell Popes, D'Angelo Russells,
exactly.
The Jamal Murrays. It's gonna be all that.
As much as I don't consider D'Angelo Russell an other. I consider him a main player because he's always solid. I think that he's always solid.
He's been mad up and down. He's been mad up and down. D'Angelo Russell, oh yeah, he's
not during the playoffs. Not during the playoffs.
Well, what the early in the Golden State series, he was simply because he was chasing that guy around all the time.
It's hard.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Hard.
Exactly.
It's hard.
But
even before then, you saw a lot of Schroeder more than you probably would have if D'Angelo Russell was doing.
I think that was coach's decision. I think Ham coaches based on on
Field.
matchups and
look, I'm gonna tell you this reason why that didn't go to a game, and reason why the Lakers won was simply because of other Lonnie Walker.
Lonnie Walker stepped
sure.
up.
Hell yeah.
Lonnie Walker, yeah.
No, I'm with you. It's all about the others, bro.
Yeah.
All about the others. And we've been saying that for a little while. You know, all
this the other series right here. This is called the other series.
Yeah.
So
I think all of the matchups throughout the entire playoffs, when it comes down to the entire playoffs, you can see that the defense is very different than regular season. That's how come during the regular season, Ben Simmons looks like a superstar and then he disappears. Joel Embiid had MVP, but he didn't have an MVP playoff, right?
Yep.
Joker looks more like the MVP of the NBA than Joel Embiid. Simply because of the way the defense is played differently during the postseason versus the regular season.
Yep.
Now, what's going to end up happening is when you see the Lakers in Denver, right? They're going to have to collapse on Joker to help out Joker, and you can't let Joker just run amok the way he did against Phoenix, right? They had nothing to do. I mean, it was just laughable the way he ran through Phoenix. They're going to have to converge on him and help out with him because Anthony Davis is just too weak to hold him. And so when he kicks the ball, they're going to have to knock that. They're going to have to knock that shot. If Denver is hitting the long ball when he kicks it out,
it's over.
The Lakers cannot win this game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, in fact, Eric, whenever you're going to be on, I'm not going to be on because we say the same thing. So, we doubling up on the basketball. I literally text the same thing in our chat the other day about Denver, and somebody wanted to argue about AD has been, giving it to Joker and, all craziness, but LeBron's going to get his. Superstars normally get theirs.
They're going to get theirs.
So you leave them alone. It's always about the others.
I still feel like Denver can't lose a game in the first two games. I still think they got to take two at home. I mean, I think if LA swipes in Denver, I think Denver could be in a little bit of jeopardy. Losing one game at home.
I'll be honest with you guys.
I think Denver's going to take the first two games at home. I think they're going to blow the Lakers out tonight. I think the next game in Denver is probably going to be a little closer. I think in LA is going to blow out Denver one of those games, but Denver will be figured out and it'll be a sweep after that.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't think that home court matters anyway. I think that it's going to be about how well the coaches can adjust to whatever they're doing.
Well, I think but players come into an environment. Sometimes it's just the energy's off.
That's where the others come in because sometimes the others they hear their crowd, they're happy, and then the others don't show up to the other crowd.
Get overwhelmed by the environment.
I think they're gonna have to be. I think they're gonna have to adjust to what Denver's doing first, right? Because they're gonna have to figure out what Denver's doing. They have to make the adjustment, and then it's gonna be whether or not Denver can adjust to the adjustment. And
what you said about defense, it was so on point in how teams that step up their defense, usually are the ones at the end of the dance, right?
Hey, listen, we
love the Lakers right now are the number one defensive team still left.
No, yes, New York Knicks got bumped.
And Denver's number 2.
Yeah, the New York Knicks got bumped by Miami simply because we couldn't rotate on defense.
Yeah.
If you watch the Miami Milwaukee series, Miami didn't appear to be a 3-point shooting team because the rotations were good. The rotations were great, right? Then when it got against New York, all of a sudden everybody's knocking down threes, and they didn't even have Tyler Hero.
That's right.
Dude, no Tyler Hero and no Oladipo.
And they're knocking down threes left and right. So it goes to show you that the New York Knicks did not have the ability to rotate and close out when the ball kept moving.
Yep.
We were always late.
Yep.
Whether it was Obi Toppin or whether it was RJ Barrett or whether it was Julius Randle who was just being lazy as hell, right? We played regular season defense when everybody else in the playoffs is playing playoff defense. And so we got bumped because of that. Now, the teams that are left, you're going to see a high level of defense being played. And LeBron James is really, in order for the Lakers to win, I really feel like LeBron James cannot sit back and be passive. I think he has to be aggressive. I think he's got to if they put a guard on him the way that Golden State was doing it, he's got to turn his back to the basket and back them down. And when they collapse on him, he's going to have to dish it. He's going to have to do what Joker is doing. And that's going to get them the win. The reason why they blew Golden State out in the very last game was the adjustment. The adjustment was, if you could go back and watch that game, in a half-court setting, LeBron James would get the ball and he would turn his back to the basket, and he would back whoever down. And as the players were rotating to double, because you can't stop this 6'8", how many ever pounds he weighs, the double comes over to converge. He kicks it, and you had the others knocking down shots.
I still think the Lakers with that, just the ability, what you said right there, E. It's two E's, but Coach E and an E. But when LeBron has the ball on the post like that, and not only can you can knock down shots is one thing, because he's used to being around shooters, right? This is a series where he's going to be around dudes that can put the ball that can pat the ball and get to the rack as well. They got dudes that can get to the rack. He's used to playing with guys that just stand there and take the three. They got multiple. They can catch you. They can catch you in multiple ways. That makes him even more dangerous now, because that same open look can be a three, or it can be a drive and a kick, an alley-oop to Davis. The whole defense starts to get affected because he's got the ball on the post.
And the difference with Denver guarding the Lakers, they have to. LeBron's gonna have to be in the pick and roll with one of the guards in order to get the switch, because Denver's forwards have great size. Michael Porter Jr. and
Aaron Gordon.
So you got to get them in the pick and roll. So
what I think is going to be a key in this series is going to make LeBron pissed. Caldwell Pope, because he was LeBron's flunky back in LA.
That's right.
That Caldwell Pope.
I think
Pat Bev with the insight.
You see that? There you go.
I mean, like, lead the team in points, lead them in assists, lead them in rebound, lead them. He can be LeBron. AD can score. D'Lo can score. Shooters, he's steady. AR steady. Like Ruiz. So scoring is not the problem. But you see Bron, get beat, get blocked. You know what I'm saying? You see Bron charge. He doesn't have to be. I'm exhausted. I got to give you 50. I got to give you 14 assists. I got to give you 14 rebounds. You don't have to do that on this team. You don't have to do that on this team. He can be the best form of him or whatever that is on that day. It can be a dub. It can be, 12 assists. It can be 14 rebounds. It can be 4 blocks. Like, he been defending his ass off too. He been rim protecting like a motherfucker in the playoffs. LeBron is doing a good job of allowing everyone else to shine. Like, he doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, but if you look at that picture, where he had his back to the basket. With a guard on him. With a guard on him, because you have to do it. And I think that's the key to the series with them. Just the Lonnie Walkers and the Austin Reeves and the D'Los, they all got to knock the shots down when they get it. They got to knock the shots down. But the one thing I'm gonna tell you, Denver is number one. Very simply because they rotate on defense.
Very well. Yes.
And that's going to be interesting.
They play good D too, man. I've watched them in the playoffs. They're a good defensive team as well.
Yeah, they're number 2. And we got to realize that thin air is a real thing. And they starting off that series, first 2 games there. And the Lakers have yet to lose a game won this whole playoff. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if
Mike Tyson said everybody got a plan until you get punched in the face.
That's right.
We're gonna see.
Yeah. We're gonna see. I know you want to hop off and get to this game. But before we do, we can just talk about Boston real quick. Because they just beat the Sixers. We saw them almost more than a few times. They got a solid nucleus. They got a star in Jason Tatum. They got a star in Jaylen Brown. I think. Are we going to see them go further than where they've been?
I have Denver, Boston in the championship, and I have Denver winning it all. I think that Denver is super, super deep. And on paper, right, Denver should, and this is going to be crazy to y'all, but on paper, Denver should sweep the Lakers.
Yeah, that's true.
On paper, they should sweep the Lakers. I don't think that it will happen because I just don't think that is good for financials. But I think that
I think where he go with everything,
and then you never know too, man. I'm gonna tell you one more thing about this playoff series. It's very much how the referees call the game.
Well, it depends on when Scott Foster is officiating.
So if the referees call the game the way the game is supposed to be called, it would be Denver and Golden State right now. And I'm gonna tell you why. If you don't allow them to grab and pull off of like Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole and Steph Curry coming off of the back screens and holding and grabbing, if you call in those fouls, which they are legitimate fouls, and you keep letting them play through that, then it's to the detriment of Golden State, and it hurt them, right? And you saw that, which is why with the last series prior to the Lakers, why it went Game 7 with Golden State, right? You can control the outcome of the game by the way the game is called. LeBron James does a lot of fouling that he doesn't get called for. If the referees decide
offensive or defensive,
probably both, but
mainly defensive. Mainly defensive. Schroeder does a lot of bullshit, bro. Schroeder grabs legs.
You know who was getting abused? Wiggins was getting abused in that series, and they would not give that man a whistle. Yeah, and I was just like,
yeah, but at some point, if you play basketball, right? All right,
you got to play through it.
No, do it again. Watch this elbow. Boom. Right. You chill out. Like, listen.
Yeah, you police it. But see, what you talking about is something that doesn't go on because they don't play in the park no more. Everything is structured. So we handle that. We police that ourselves.
That person is Draymond Green, but he got a special relationship with LeBron, so it's not gonna go but so far.
Oh yeah. He's like, I love you, LeBron. What can I do for you?
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's the game. It's the mental game. It's the other game you gotta play. You know what I mean?
Draymond is gonna you do 2 foul things to Draymond twice in a row and watch that elbow. Watch that flying elbow. Boom. And he'll be happy to take the foul.
Yeah.
He'll be happy to take the foul. Yeah, I did it. Because you're not calling it. You're not calling it when he do it. You're not understanding what he's saying. What he's mad about isn't the fact that you just called that foul. What he's mad about is the fact that you're not calling it down there when he's grabbing my ankle. He's doing all of this shit to me to make me do this. So now, in order for me to stop him from doing it, I had to hit him with that elbow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a long record of Draymond putting the smackdown on Joker. So I don't know how to call that. But with Boston,
I like Boston. I like Boston in 5 over Miami.
Okay.
I think both series should be very short on paper. Mm-hmm. I think Jason Tatum is just too talented of a ball player. Like, I always got to give the nod to the team that got the best player on the team. When you got 2 killers in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, like I gotta give it to them. And then they got killers, they got killer others as well. And then you got Al Horford, who can be a major contributor. Like I gotta give it, Miami, who's wounded with Tyler Hero and what's the name? Like I gotta give it to give the edge to Boston. They play very good defense. I honestly think that the Denver Lakers series is more competitive than the Boston Miami series.
I think I don't know. I would like to think so, and I think Boston on paper should win the game.
But Spo gonna
I
get you
can't
too.
front on Jimmy Buckets and Spoelstra.
Spo gonna get you too.
And
Somehow.
like, if Miami somehow happens to win the series, what happens to Boston? Because they should win. I'm expecting Boston to win the series.
Hold up. So you guys don't see the theatrics in the NBA, though. I mean, this is normally, I'm gonna be conspiracy theory. Hakeem.
Here we go.
Hey, yo, I could literally log off.
I'm gonna be conspiracy theory Hakeem Green for a moment.
See?
So all of a sudden, Jason Tatum is just la 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 la, just roaming through, shooting bricks, blah, blah, blah. And then they say to him, "Yo, we need to get this game." Fourth quarter, he turns into Superman, wins the game, does an interview, and says, "Listen, I'm literally one of the best players in the league." And it comes the next day and give you 51, right? From out of nowhere, he just automatically turns into this superhuman individual. You guys don't see the theatrics in the NBA, bro? Yo, we need to make money.
It's WWF, man.
Yeah, but how much is it? Like, so there's a clip of LeBron talking about when you just on, right? And the feeling of when you can just throw the ball in, you're doing everything, all the moves you got in your book, you reaching in your bag and just trying everything. Everything you do is just clicking. There are those days when you're just on fire, and then when the other team melts down, it's even better.
For sure.
Right. So I don't, and what's funny is because I'm the king conspiracy theorist, the Dandada, nobody goes deeper than me.
Ever.
But I've been leaning off my conspiracy theory. I've been trying to.
You told me George Bush and Barack Obama was related. I was done.
But they are. You saw that, right? They are related. They all get. You talking about? They all related. Come on, bro. Obama even admitted it, yo.
Get the fuck out of here.
All right, yo. So listen, we're not gonna drift down the rabbit hole. We're gonna keep it back. We're gonna keep it basketball. But you think it's all hidden strings behind closed doors?
No, I definitely think that they drag these out to 6 games at least. Like where the sweeps at? Like honestly, I felt Denver was gonna sweep Phoenix. And all of a sudden it turned into a series. Like how? Why? Like I just don't get it.
No, because Phoenix is short on it. Like they don't have no team. They gutted their team.
I'm watching
KD. Like to me, it makes sense. It's like KD and Kevin Booker. Like it's but so much they can do. Like
I'm watching closeout games. I'm watching closeout games where the superstars are not touching the ball in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
something's weird. Something's weird, Hawk. Like if you play basketball, if you literally play basketball, you understand the game, coach. You could validate me on this, coach. Like if you play the game, you're not gonna go a whole 15 minutes with a superstar on the floor in a closeout game and he's not touching the ball. Something's wrong. This is scripted. Like, what are we doing? Is this the Kardashians? Like, what are we doing?
I've been saying the whole playoffs. I've come on here every week and say the NBA. I'm not going to say rigged, but it's rigged.
I think it's rigged. I think it's rigged to give enough games.
Yeah.
And to get enough games so that the revenue.
So they get the revenue that they want.
Right.
And it's literally entertainment. You're not far off with the Kardashian thing.
I'm gonna go a step further. In the play-in games. Did y'all watch the Lakers playing games?
Yeah, I watched that game.
Did you see the difference in how these what? I'm sitting there going, how? Like the Lakers were supposed to be home.
Yep.
How? Because it's not good for the NBA to have LeBron James miss 2 late playoffs back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Not good.
Yep.
It's not good.
Yeah, it was kind of bugged out. Like it is all funny to me, but that's been like that for.
But if you literally watch the games, you're sitting there going, how?
Yeah, how are you so good one day and so bad the next day?
How is a superstar? How is a superstar not touching the ball in the fourth quarter?
But who do you mean specifically?
I'm trying to remember.
Or you talking about James Harden and
just in general, when you look at the balance of the games, like even AD for that matter, You know, he's involved in it too. They're all involved in it. Like, how do you like perform one day at one level and then you're just not even a factor at all in the next level, like another game. So from game to game,
you don't go from 45 points to 9. That doesn't happen.
A lot of that.
You know.
And going back to that
what you would say with go ahead. I'm sorry, with the playing game. Go ahead, Clutch.
Well, Big Cat was the one that didn't touch it in one of those closeout games. The last like 4 minutes of the game. And they ended up losing and obviously going home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But they're all non-killers. Ain't none of them killers.
I thought the we talk about the free throws in that Laker Golden State series. In 2 games, Golden State and the Lakers had one team had 17 and one team had 16 free throws, so it was pretty even in 2 games. And in the other 3, it was like 68 to like 30. And
how much is that? How much is that? The style of game?
No. But Golden State didn't change their style. They're still played the same way those other games.
No. I'm saying,
I get it. I know jump shooting teams don't get fouls. I get that part. I get it.
But they're always a jump shooting team.
They've always been that way. I mean, 6 free throws in game 1.
All year they haven't been getting.
But it goes back to what I was saying.
Other teams all year
they shot 6 free throws in game 1 at home. That's a NBA no. You're not at home shooting 6 free throws total. That means 3 people went to the line the whole game.
Listen,
3
guys,
people.
It goes back to what I was saying about how you call a game. If you're not calling a game off of those back screens with them holding, and you can literally watching them hold, grab jerseys, pull. The referees are watching them and say, "I'm not calling that." Right? You could literally. If they don't call it, then Golden State can go. You can determine the outcome. The referees can determine the outcome of that series just by.
And we can. I agree though, because I think we all sat here and watched. I'm a Laker fan for a long time, and Shaq would literally get no calls on the road, and then he would turn around and buck people over the same way he did on the road, and he would do it at home, and they would let him play through. It was stupid. It didn't make any sense. But on the road, it was a foul. He had 2 fouls early on the road every single time.
I don't know last time LeBron James was in foul trouble. just tell me the last time. Forget about fouling out. When is the last time he was in foul trouble?
Yep.
We watched it. I mean, and it don't take nothing away from him. It's just how, like you said, the game can get controlled by officiating. Because
Foster.
Well, you know, I heard the interview series. I think I shared it with you, Wes. Tim Donaghy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he going in, and I didn't know, like, there's a large percentage of NBA referees that all come from the same town in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like this
they actually
crazy.
Something that Eric mentioned earlier, actually at Spooky Nook, a lot of times that's where they hold the camps.
Yeah.
For the officials.
Man, I was in Texas at a camp, a boys AAU event about 3 weeks ago, and I looked at the referee pool and I just had to start laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just all young white dudes.
Yeah.
I sat here and looked at all these referees work, and I'm sitting there saying to myself, this is some bull crap right here. They all looked alike. Like it was like they cookie cutted them and put them on the court.
And you don't understand, right? I want to coach so bad, I don't have time. I want to referee so bad, I don't have time. Like, it's literally, if I had a regular like 9 to 5 scheduled job, I would definitely do it. Because I just think that I could be so impactful to this region of the country, but I just don't have the time, man. It's because it's really bad. Like, the refereeing is bad. These guys are old and they're just getting their $125 per game and they're happy. And these guys don't really understand. I literally had to tell a referee, yo, bro, my daughter is trying to go to college. These other kids on the floor, they don't care.
Right.
They're here as a recreation. My daughter is literally doing this to go to college. You can't call the game the way you're calling it.
Yeah.
You have to be serious.
Well, I mean, I did it in your part of the neck of the woods for 20-something years, and it's disgusting. It was disgusting then because the refs, partners I would have, disgusting. All the same dudes. They rehash the same people. They get older and fatter, and they still have them out there.
Yeah, we could tell the referees when Bergen Catholic plays against Don Bosco, we get the best referees in the game.
Yep.
Right? When you have the Dylan Harpers on the floor, and you have all the big, then you get the best referees that the state has to offer. But for the most part, the games are just terrible, man. It's crazy, and it's just
hard.
The money grab.
It's hard now because most of the like high school basketball, not for girls, but on the boys' side, is like an elective now. High school basketball is like an elective for the boys. It's not. It's an extracurricular activity. It's not. It doesn't mean anything. Right. So they have better and then the officiating for coach was saying in terms of AAU, you can't get good refs to work AAU because of the parents.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword. So the good refs don't want to work in the AAU venues, and then you got more bad refs. I mean, you got bad refs working AAU, and then you got good refs working in the high school circuit, but there's no good play because there's no kids playing.
Yeah. Well, in the AAU circuit in this region of the world, even in like down in Spooky Nuke and whatever, you're gonna get the parents yelling everywhere. You're gonna get the parents.
You yell, but they kind of run. That's the culture. That's the culture.
When you go to places like Chicago, and even in Los Angeles, it's a different level. Those parents go a little bit further. Like, those parents go a little.
They're on the court. I'm in Texas, and I worked in New York my whole life. I worked Texas AAU. Did it one time. First of all, I don't work for pennies. I did it for networking. And then once you tell me how much you're giving me, I'm not doing it no more because y'all ain't paying nobody no money. So I ain't no fool. That's the first thing. So you can, I mean, because the basketball is still the same size and everything like that. But the difference here is that, like you said, there's no gun laws here.
Yeah.
So that was real. It was real easy to decide I'm not doing AAU basketball down here. And I've seen parents fight each other out here.
Just the update. 25-14 Denver.
28-14.
28-14.
Yeah, I think Lincoln's gonna get blown out this game.
Well, we can on that note, we can call it because I want to see a little bit of this series.
Fellas, it's always a pleasure. I couldn't join you guys during the season because every time you guys had it, my daughter had a game and I couldn't join you guys. But
Tuesday night, baby, Tuesday night, best game night.
No doubt.
That's right.
Anytime you guys want me back, just let me know. I'm available. I love this.
Excellent.
It's a great platform. Anything I can do, just let me know. I'm always here for it.
My dude.
Hey, once again, congrats to your daughter.
Congratulations, coach.
You know what's funny too?
Good work.
She leaves for school July 5th. Yeah. And it's only because they get a lot of the schooling out of the way earlier in the summertime, and then they train and get ready. Versus the other Division 2, Division 3 don't go to school till September, but Division 1 starts in July. So she's like, as soon as she graduates in a couple of weeks,
more books.
Right. Hey, word of advice for her.
Yeah.
Start to hit the weight room now to prepare herself for college.
So she's been like, Montana, how much weight you put on since? She's put on 7 pounds since the season's ended, and it's all muscle. She's been like, my daughter does 2 a days, man. She's really, really focused, and she understands. We went to a couple of the school's games during the season, and those girls bump, man. Those girls are big. Those girls are big. They're not small, so she's prepared for it. I think she's gonna be all right. The thing about her is she'll figure out how to fit in, right? Like, she's always been a person who will assess what she's got to do to achieve her goal, and then she'll do it. So, thank you guys for the well wishes. She can hear you. Just look out for her. I just hope, I'm sure she's going to enjoy it.
I want to follow her because I have an 11-year-old, and you said it was music to my ears when you said she started in 6th grade, and mine had started before, but kind of like moved away because she was swimming, and she moved away from that, and I'm just like, but I can't show that, right? Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Like, just like, what are you gonna do? So I'm happy, and I want to always try to put her around young ladies that look like her, that are actually doing it to keep her motivated. So I'm gonna definitely try to follow her.
And you know, reach out to me. She'll always be happy to inspire and tell her what it takes.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I'll connect
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, you know, Montana used to get up at 6:30 in the morning and go work out before class.
Damn.
Man, please tell me, please, because I got a microwave upstairs. You know, microwave mentality. I want to be in the. I'm gonna be in WNBA tomorrow. No, you're not. Cause you got to do a layup first. Yeah.
She literally and once she started driving, she didn't need to wake us up. She would just
go. That's awesome.
Wow.
That's love. That's love.
I mean, that's passion, and she wanted it, and you know, so when she gets down to school and they got the state of the art facilities with the smartest people to tell you how to do what you need to do to get your body the way you need to get your body. So, you know, she'll be fine.
That's dope, man.
Nothing but the best out there for you guys.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thanks again for joining the platform, bro. You're always welcome. No.
Yep. Have a good one.
Enjoy the playoffs, man. Later, fella. All right, later.
I wanted to share with y'all one real quick in other sports news today that happened. Domingo Germán, New York Yankee pitcher, got ejected for substance in his glove. The first time the glove check worked. Third inning.
In his glove, huh?
They, you know, you come to the sideline, the umpire checked the glove, they checked it, and they gone.
Wow. And that's a 10-game suspension automatically, I think.
Yeah, so he got knocked out in the third inning. But yeah, it came up on my phone while we were talking. I was like, what happened to Germán? And they said he was using a substance on his glove.
Coach Williamson.
Yo,
what's up with you, brother?
Man, I've been fighting the cold, man. Other than that, I'm just, taking it easy, man. That's it.
How's next year
looking? Good to see you, Coach.
Huh?
It's always good to see you, man.
Oh, yeah, always good to be seen, man. Yeah, I miss y'all again. I've been meeting, like the brothers, I've been meeting on Tuesday nights with the coaching thing. So that's been just a thing. But yeah, I won't be coaching this fall. I mean, I'll be volunteer, but I'm going on a college football tour with me and my boys, man. Go watch football.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
dope.
So,
very dope.
That's what I'll be doing.
Oh, wow. Okay. So let me ask you a question then. Can we put you to work?
You put me to work? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm saying maybe you just be out there with a camera, collect some footage from IZM Sports, share the experience with our audience.
Oh, I don't know if I'm working trying to have pleasure, man, but we'll see.
Okay. Clip here.
My boys, let's go with a camera, man. At a college stadium, man, that camera might be doing this. I guess I definitely share.
Okay, good.
Get some tailgate. I get some tailgating footage for sure.
That'll work.
So yeah,
anything sports related.
Okay. All right. Well, you got it.
I do.
I get it. I had them get it, and they can send it to me. I send it to you. So.
34-19 in the first quarter. 2 minutes left in the first quarter.
Remember, I said I think that the Lakers they're going to get blown out tonight.
Yeah.
I think the next game will be a little closer, but I think Denver will win game 2. I think going back to LA, the others will be affected by the transition. The others for LA will step up. They'll figure it out, and I think that will translate going back to Denver. They'll steal one.
Quick question: does anybody know the answer to this? What's the lowest seed that has ever made the finals?
8.
Oh, geez.
Oh, 8 seed has made the finals.
Was it Miami?
The Knicks.
Yeah,
it was Miami. The bubble chip.
The Knicks made it as 8 seed against San Antonio in the strike year.
Okay.
No.
And this was the first year in the second round. Seeds 1 through 8 were represented. Yeah.
Because what's interesting about both of these series is, you got an 8 seed, you got a 7 seed.
Mm-hmm.
You got 1 versus 7. So Denver should be the overwhelming favorite.
Right.
But we all know Lakers weren't really a 7 seed. But it's interesting. And Boston was what, 2 seed?
Boston was 2 and Miami was 8.
2 and 8.
Yeah.
2 and 8 and 1 and 7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the bubble chip redo.
Possibly.
But coach, man, I know we talked about it. Like look at the top 3 teams in the West. Like I said, two of them was going home, and they went home quickly. Yeah. So we already knew the Lakers. I already had the Lakers in the top 4 in the West, but before they even got to the playoffs, just because of the trades.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, it had nothing to do with anything else. It's because of the trades itself. Because the way ESPN announces it the other day, they were like, getting LeBron getting the Lakers to the playoffs this year was one of his biggest accomplishments. Yeah. How could you get somebody there when you was out the last 22 games when they turned their season around? Because when you were playing, they wasn't that good. You were playing great, but they weren't winning.
Yeah,
he was playing great. He was playing phenomenal.
Yeah, those narratives be crazy, but
I was like, how did ESPN get away with that stuff? Like, that's like ridiculous.
Because ESPN is fantasy. They're Disney.
That's just like blasphemy.
It's all fantasy. Every morning, if I try and turn them on a little bit, and I'm like, this is real fantasy. They spewing here.
I like to think that his effect on the team is beyond just what happens on the court, and even on the court, it's not about buckets, but just about the presence and being able to coach on the court. Like they show me examples of him predicting.
Oh no, his knowledge is unsurpassed.
Like his fucking IQ. So it's like, he finally has a squad around him where he doesn't need to be fucking Superman. He can actually, and I think his foot injury and him sitting out, I think a lot of that had to do with him sitting back going, okay, is this worth coming back? Oh shit, these motherfuckers can really ball. You know what? I don't have to do as much with this team. I could just figure out how to fit in.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I just think that the again, we could say what we want to say, and I think that's true. But it's just like that's not what happened. Like, they were not a good team first half of the year. They were a great team the second half of the year.
Yo, Rob Pelinka did his fucking job, bro.
Yeah, Rob Pelinka and Darvin Ham they need to be talked about a little bit more, just a little bit.
Yeah, a lot more.
I think Darvin, I always said it was going to take some time for them to buy into his approach to playing defense, being tough. That's just who he is. Pelinka did a great job, and LeBron did what you're supposed to do in as far as if I got an injury, I need to sit back and see where this team is, and if I should put myself on the line and coming back and playing, but he saw that they were developing, and they would have only developed if he was out. They wouldn't have developed like that if he was playing.
No, I agree.
That's a perfect point. He did exactly what he was supposed to do, and they would not have done what they did if he was actually in. If they were integrated, if he wasn't hurt and they had to integrate around him, it might not have happened the same way it did. So it was a blessing. It was a blessing in disguise. And he does have the best team that he's had for this age. For this age, to be 38. To have those guys.
Basketball, y'all know chemistry matters, man. And if you don't find a way to that chemistry
is everything.
Yep.
So
you gotta like each other.
It is, man. Yeah. I heard you talk earlier about the others, right? But it's always been the others, man. We ain't never watched times where the others.
Yeah, others always been that way.
You gotta do your job.
Right.
Listen, when Rick Fox and Robert Horry didn't hit no threes, the Lakers weren't winning.
Thank you.
The Lakers weren't winning.
Or Steve Kerr, John Paxson, Craig Hodges. The others got to do their job. I mean, the stars going to do what they do.
Well, sometimes the stars don't do what they're supposed to do.
No,
and that's what we're saying more.
Sometimes that happens too.
And if you got quality others, you can still win. For instance, back to the Lakers. Some of that run, AD wasn't on the court either, and they were being competitive and winning games.
Some of the games, like,
AD were gone.
Yeah, both of them were out. Yeah, right. I totally agree. Totally agree.
Like having an Austin Reeves was like that was like a diamond in the rough.
But that's my point, because that was supposed to be. That's where Pelinka and Ham was supposed to get the credit for how they turned this team around. Yeah. That's my point. It wasn't. This has. I mean, again, it has more to do with. Is a conglomerate. It's a bunch of reasons why they got there. A bunch of reasons.
Right.
Not one person didn't do it.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
And I like to say thank you, and I so agree with you. And I like to say it's always because the organization through and through, top to bottom, steps up, and it's not just about one person.
No, it's not.
It
never has been.
And
right.
Speaking to your point on the organization, Pelinka was probably going to be fired if he didn't.
Woo!
Yeah, he was out of there.
Yeah, for sure.
I respect a white man that steps up when he sees his job is on the line. I respect that.
Right. And to that point, Ham deserves a hell of a lot of credit coming in first year into what he came into for the first half of the year, steering through that, dealing with Russell Westbrook, which, could have been a lot worse than it was, inheriting these new players out of nowhere and being able to shuffle a deck and make it work. Kudos to them. I think at this point, for me, they're overachieving. I had no, expectation for them to be in the chip.
Now, see, I don't think they're overachieving. I think we didn't realize what they were because it came together so late. I don't think they're overachieving.
Yeah.
I think
but you got AD and LeBron.
If it took a year to figure this new crop out, I wouldn't have been shocked.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the thing about it though, Hawk, is that LeBron doesn't play for development.
Right.
So there's no throwaway years at this stage because he's chasing one thing, a legacy. And that's what he's been doing for a while now. So he doesn't have years to give away. Yeah. So I just think that any year that he's playing and he's got a uniform on and AD has got a uniform on and they don't win is, for him, it's not a failure, but is in his eyes is a wasted opportunity.
No, for sure. That's
what I'm saying. I don't think they overachieved either. I think
that's the reality of every year. Well, that's what it. But at the same time, come All-Star break, your record is what, and you're in 13th.
But they were underachieving. That's the thing. They were underachieving.
No. I get that, and then from that point, because they're underachieving and because you have all these new pieces to shuffle, I wouldn't expect in February 25th, if you were like, yo, are the Lakers going to the chip? I'd have been like, nah, probably not.
That team, but at February 25th, that team had only been there for 7 days.
That's my point, that they had to go through the process to even have LeBron come back and say, you know what, it's worth coming back, is because at that point, the team was doing more than what was expected. I don't think that
again, then you got Denver, Sacramento. You got Denver, Sacramento, and Phoenix in the top 3 seeds, and we all knew that even though Denver's still the best team, people they got to see Denver do it, right? So with the Lakers lurking, you already knew if they got to the playoffs, they were going to be dangerous. So it wasn't period. You knew that already.
Here's what you keywords you said at that point. They're here now. At that point,
because we saw the change when they make those trades,
at time there were teams who
they weren't in the playoffs. I know when I said it. I said it before the playoffs. I said they were playing Golden State and LeBron was not playing. And I was like, this team can go to the playoffs right here without him when it was on a Sunday game. And I'm sitting there saying, no playoffs.
Playoffs and go to the chip is 2 different things, bro.
But once you get to the playoffs, all bets are off. So anything can happen, right?
Yeah, it's a new season. It's a new
when
season.
They started, they were underachieving. And then when they finished, they played.
The West was so wide open anyway. You definitely just wanted to get in.
I don't know. I can't call it underachieving. They have LeBron and AD on their team. That's it.
No. I'm saying, given the team that they have right now, they're competitively in the race for a chip. But before LeBron came back, which was how many games before he came back? How many games was left?
5.
5 games?
No, I don't know, but it wasn't a lot. But you said they're overachieving. You said they're overachieving. I don't believe they're overachieving.
I don't agree with the overachieving part.
7 games, but I remember when we were going, Cliff, there's so many games left, and they got to go 18 and so in order to get into this.
What happened was the other team started losing. The other team was losing too.
But we also saw the other team. And I think it's probably Wes and Cliff more than me, because I never wanted the Lakers to make the playoffs because I want to laugh at New Orleans getting the number 1 pick. I thought that would be funny. But I remember Wes and Cliff kept saying the way the West was that like the teams that were like 4, 5, 6, I think at the time, were all going to start losing. Dallas was in there in that position. Utah
They
was
did.
there. They all started losing.
Yeah.
So it was, and even when the Lakers lost, they weren't losing ground because other teams just kept losing.
Yeah. So I don't think the Lakers I don't think they're overachieving. I think I think things did line up for them perfectly. They got a Memphis team that was just in disarray, you know. And now we're really going to see what they're capable of doing.
They're in a highly unlikely spot from where they were. Let's put it that
I
way.
agree with that.
That's
I would agree with that.
That's all I'm saying, yo.
But overachievers is not the same thing, huh?
That's all I'm saying.
That's not the same thing.
Yeah.
That's not the same thing.
But I just want to take it. I want to take it to another.
They're in a higher spot than they were before.
Yeah, I want to take it to another.
It's not the same thing. But I get what you're saying. But it's not. That's two different statements. I get it.
Two different words.
It is.
The perfect coach actually.
It's different words, but highly unlikely means no. It wasn't a guarantee that they'd be in the spot that they're in.
It's not a guarantee.
It's not a guarantee, but that's not overachieving. That's what I'm trying to say. That's not the definition.
It's not a guarantee for anybody. But just something I was thinking about as y'all were talking about Ham as a coach. He would actually be the perfect coach for Ja Morant. Here's a gentleman from the streets, been shot, knows all that kind of, tough guy, hard nosed, no nonsense. He would be a great mentor for Ja. I don't know if there's anybody else, any other coach particularly that could do it. I think somebody mentioned Tony Dungy, what he did for Michael Vick. Yeah, I think Ham could do the same thing. The only problem is
Ja Morant just his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it just comes down to the one dude. It's whoever that cat is, he's always with. I mean, he got cut him off.
It's more than that. It's more than that. He needs mentorship.
Yeah,
he needs somebody that you just respect and you do not want to disappoint. And I'm going to show you how to get right. And
that man got a father. That's messed up because that man got a father. He ain't finding that with his own pops. It's kind of like, wow.
Sometimes, listen, sometimes we all need mentorship.
But his father's on the sideline. But his father's on the sideline like he's that guy. It just to me, it's like that's a fraud right there.
His father is a fan, and that's
it's like. I'm not disagreeing with y'all. I agree. I'm just saying it just makes no sense to me that you got this man on the sideline acting like he got your pom poms, and if you can't tell your son, yo, dog, you messing up. It's just don't make no sense. Don't be on the sideline then. What you doing for me?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Be Jalen Brunson's dad.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on. He got some baggage himself.
He has a problem with his hands, right?
Yeah. He got some baggage.
Who's that?
Jalen Brunson's pop.
Jalen Brunson's pop. Rick Brunson.
What do you do?
He look it up. I don't even like talking about it.
I think he has some domestic thing, but
nobody's perfect, but he ain't on the side of the court rah-rahing up with Uncle Shay.
Yeah, he's also a former player and a coach.
Yeah.
So,
for sure. But
who's the coach on the Knicks now? Is that his father on the coach team now?
Yeah.
Is his father coaching? That was his father talking to him the other day?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I was like, is that Rick Brunson? It looked like him.
Yeah, he's an assistant.
Okay.
A big reason why he's there because when Cuban didn't move in a certain way, his father was like, listen, they're not serious about signing you for max dollars. What was it, $55 million on the table?
Yeah, and the Knicks done gave me this job, so you should come over here with me.
Yeah.
And it ended up giving him more than that, right? $100 million.
Yeah, 100 and what? 115.
Man, I'd have left Dallas too.
Yeah.
And I can get the ball now. I can actually get the ball.
Yeah. Interesting.
Hey, can't get the ball in Dallas.
I got a hop.
Yeah, now it was a good one. It was actually more extended than I thought it was going to be, but good. We're gonna get into this game. We'll talk about it next week. Hopefully, my Laker predictions will come true. and we'll see what's up. All right, y'all.
Always a pleasure.
Peace.
All right, y'all
Peace.
be safe. Yep.
Peace, peace.